Hello there. The British government's country estate is said to have been, let's say, celebrated extensively. According to a report, traces of cocaine were found there. And according to this report, traces of hard drugs were found in buildings used by the British government. The Guardian reported on Friday evening, citing insider sources, that traces of white powder were discovered last summer at the Chevening country estate used by British foreign ministers. Allies of then Secretary of State Liz Truss are said to have celebrated there over 2 weekends, shortly before she was elected Prime Minister. According to the report, it is believed to have been cocaine. Similar substances are also said to have been found in Downing Street after lockdown parties, as other insiders reported to The Guardian. However, neither ex-Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who was still in power at the time, nor Truss herself knew about the drugs or even used them, they say. A spokeswoman for Liz Truss dismissed the allegations as untrue. Both Truss and Johnson said they have not heard of such finds. Both pointed out that this must be the case if there were any evidence supporting the finds. The affair about banned parties in Downing Street during the corona lockdowns had contributed significantly to the fall of ex-Prime Minister Johnson. Liz Truss, on the other hand, had to resign after a few weeks because of the disastrous consequences of her economic policy. Both had announced a tougher course against hard drugs, by the way. It's a kind of a joke now. But for now, another type of snow is causing Brits more concern. Snow on every bike, on every branch, the first pedestrians in the city enchanted. London in white, a dull, happy unity. Well, in fact, everything should be settled. But when you step out of the door at the city airport or the tube in Gatwick, voices explain what to do if you see something that doesn't look right. Let them know, and the British Transport Police will take care of it. About everything that doesn't look right now at the moment. A few meters on the way to the subway somewhere said, "Please be careful, one step at a time, don't rush yourself." So nothing can happen in this illusion of a total security, even if there is nowhere to say, stay at home if you don't risk it, want to freeze, if you don't want to get frozen or waiting or stuck or whatever. In this case, it's the approaching snowstorm that doesn't look right, and secondarily the climate. But there's no time for that much abstraction, at least the freezing fog is very topical. Nobody in London is prepared for that. As a taxi driver says at walking pace, something like this happens too seldom. You have to understand that. And I realized that when I was living there. So first, a 3-airport experience in one day. Gatwick in its ugly functionality, where there is no electricity from any socket. London City, where people have to hang around in the check-in antechamber. And Heathrow with its claustrophobic corridors. And then people realize British Airways no longer flies to Frankfurt, for example. Not from London City and not from Heathrow either. And even not on the next day. That's the experience some German journalists had to make. And as long as you hope and move something, as long as it stays dark outside anyway and it's so uncomfortable, it's not bad to stay at the airport, by the way. But the night is a total standstill. And in London, motorists are skidding on ice, panicking and leaving their cars in the middle of the road. And travelers who stay, well, they will stay and freeze. It's quite uncomfortable when you think about this. The employees in the hotels who have to turn people away in droves and get everything also wish they hadn't gotten up. The British friendliness, despite everything, is something that gives you at least some sympathy there. The bus drivers have to apologize because they have no change anymore. And whoever wants to be in this situation when they're not used to it. But anyone who has money and reads the news takes the train. But you have to take it quickly because the strike is imminent. The Eurostar to Brussels is fully booked for days, but it's still running punctually, in fact. And people that have the chance to sit in it will be proud and triumphant. And the countryside around Canterbury they will be passed will be picturesque again. And everyone who makes it will take a deep breath. And in that train, there is the warmth, and the warmth of traveling. But it's a warmth that millions of people in the UK are missing now. So people from Germany are at the moment, ones I know, are leaving for the continent because of the situation in Britain and because of the chaos caused by a little low temperatures. Here it's -10 for quite some time and nobody cares. But that's the difference of the worlds. And I'll see you in my next video. I'll be back.